Chapter 17, Naomi Marie. Only 2 more weeks of girls gaming the system, and we didn't get much done today. The other Naomi was really quiet and mostly sketching things that she didn't show me, even after I said her grandparents were nice, true, and her dad was a great cook. Such a lie. As we're leaving the workshop, I wonder if we'll finish anything in time for presentation day. If we don't, we won't even get a chance to enter the contest. All this spending time with her and Tom, and I could end up with nothing to show for it. Just a few weeks ago, I was imagining walking into the library and showing the Team Games crew what it meant to be a creator, not a consumer. Now I just want to play some dominoes with my dad. I can't wait to see Dad, I mutter, while Mama and Tom talk about stuff they could have talked about when I didn't have to watch. I think nobody heard, but when supersonic Mama looks at me with more than a question in her eyes, I wish I could tell her that sometimes I have fun with the other Naomi, but that doesn't mean this is not completely weird and different and scary and nothing will ever be the same. But I can't say any of that. "We're sleeping over Daddy's with Shomara," Bree says to the other Naomi. Mama and Tom stop talking for a minute, but the other Naomi looks down and says, "That's nice." Last week we told each other jokes and found out that we both come up with imaginary pranks that we'll never actually do. Today I had a list of things we could talk about while we worked, but she didn't smile once, so I kept it in my pocket. Mama and Tom finally start saying goodbye, and I look down too. "Bye!" Bree yells over to Tom and the other Naomi. She shakes her hand free and waves, but puts it right back into mine right after and squeezes it, like she knows how I feel. In exchange for a yes to this sleepover, Shomara's mom said Shomara had to go to the library, so Mama drops Bree and me off there while she goes on ahead to Dad's with our overnight bags. I wonder if they'll talk for a little while like they used to before Tom, or if they'll be shy, and then I want to stop wondering. Shomara is standing in front of the library looking itchy. "I want to take out some books, but I forgot my card," I say. "Can I use yours?" Shomara looks at me and rolls her eyes. "Do you even need a library card? Aren't you on a first-name basis here, like Adedayo?" "Who's Adedayo?" "Ugh!" Shomara rummages through her cat purse and pulls out her library card, which she rubs on her jeans before she hands it to me. "You know, Adedayo, no wifey here, sold out, the best singer ever." "Okay, yeah, I get it. Thanks for the card. I promise I won't return them late." I get a bunch of books about game design and programming that Julie mentioned. The other Naomi doesn't seem like she cares about our project at all anymore. She hasn't added anything to the dump in ages, and she never even answered my message about the books. Even her grandparents are more into it, and they were obviously born before computers. They asked us some good questions, but she kept changing the subject. I guess Tom had told them that I like board games because they brought Find Her, which I already have in classic and deluxe versions, but I just said, "Thank you very much," because I am extremely polite. After dinner, "You want to see what we do in girls gaming the system?" I ask as we walk to Dad's, making sure Bree practices looking left, right, left at every crossing. The other Naomi and I have a pretty cool game started. "Sure, even though I'd really rather meet the other Naomi in person. When are you going to make that happen? And what do you think of her now? I'm dying to know." I shrug. "She's okay." Like Melissa Banks' weird but not bothering anyone okay? Or Orchid Richardson, barely hidden stank attitude okay? There's a difference. I know. She's not like either of them. She's okay. I ignore Shomara's heavy sigh and jump out of the way when Dad opens the door and Bree attacks him with a hug. "Daddy!" she yells. "We're all here for our sleepover with Shomara!" "What's for dinner?" I ask. I look around, but Mama's already gone. "Hello to you, too," says my dad. "Good to see you, Shomara." He hugs us both, and I look over his shoulder to the table. Our puzzle is still there, and I feel kind of bad because we haven't made much progress lately. "I brought wizard chess, but maybe we should focus on the puzzle," I say. "You just got here. Relax. Let's play it by ear," says Dad. "Now how about a snack?" "That's what I'm talking about," says Shomara. "What you got, Uncle Winston?" Turns out Dad has a pretty nice spread set up for us. Sliced apples, super sharp cheddar cheese, lemonade, and even chocolate chip cookies. "Daddy, did you go to Shelly Ann's?" I asked, stuffing a cookie into my mouth. "These are awesome." "I made them myself, thank you very much," Dad says, patting his own shoulder. "Next time you come over, maybe instead of a game, we'll do some baking." I shrug. Sure." Shomara calls her mom, and when she hangs up, I can tell she got politeness reminders. "Thank you for having me over," she says to Dad. "You girls are always welcome," Dad says. "Please remember that." "You don't have to tell me twice," says Shomara, grinning. Dad looks like he could use another hug, so I give it to him. He starts showing Bree how to play chess, but before Shomara and I leave the room, she's changed the game to Wizard Dance Party. The carpet in my room at my dad's is fluffy and blue. Shomara and I flop down on top of the giant smiley face beanbags. "So, you never told me. What were the grandparents like? Did they have white hair?" "Yeah, but they weren't super old, like I thought they'd be. They were pretty nice, but they asked my mom a lot of questions." "Did they like you and Brianna?" "Yeah, I guess. Brianna asked them a lot of questions back, and then she invited them to Nana's house in Orlando." "Are you guys all going to Orlando together?" Shomara looks hurt. "I thought I was coming with you this year." "Of course we're not going with them. That was just Bree being Bree-ish." They laughed and said they'd love to meet her one day, but it was kind of like they were expecting to, like they weren't even surprised when she said that. I had waited for Mama to say something about it being a family vacation, but she never did. She smiled a lot through that whole lunch, at Tom, at his white-haired parents, even at the other Naomi, who did not always smile back. I counted. "These cookies are so good," Shomara says. "I can't believe your dad made them." "Yeah," I say, "and you know what? Tom can't cook at all. I think there was American cheese in his lasagna." "So there, Naomi E. for evil," I go on. "I think it was the first meal he ever cooked. I got ice from the fridge, and they were like frozen dinners." My dad pops his head in. "How you girls doing? Naomi, what do you think of the beanbags? I thought they were kind of happy." I groan. "Yes, we're good, Dad, and the beanbags are great, thank you." I roll my eyes in the soon I'll be an annoying teenager way. Usually he does it back, but he just nods and smiles and closes the door. "Does my dad seem weird to you?" "What, the cookies?" Shomara asked, taking out a small poster of the Milky Way and tacking it to the wall. "That was a pretty awesome snack. Just enjoyed the divorced parents' extra nice guilt glow. It might never go away." She steps back to look at the poster. "Do you like it? It was in my Science Stories magazine, and I know you really need stuff to decorate this place. It's nice that your dad got these beanbags, though. So comfy." "Yeah, it's really great, thanks. But, what do you mean?" "I mean, we haven't had much time to get this room together so that it's really you, like your regular room at home." "Oh, speaking of that, have you heard the remix of It's So You, It's Not Me at All, the best song ever?" "Adideo?" "Of course not. Zuleika. You know, Zuzu. Why are you even talking about Adideo?" "Anyway," I say, sliding onto a floor pillow. "I meant, what do you mean about the divorce glow of guilt or whatever?" "Oh, just that, divorced parents are always trying to make up for being divorced because they want their kids to be happy. I read that on realtalkkids.com, after your parents, But there's nothing to make up for. Me and Brianna are okay. Dad lives right in the neighborhood. It's almost like he didn't move out." Shomara shrugs. "But he probably still feels guilty. Or maybe he's just worried that Tom is becoming like your dad or something. You know how parents can be kind of sensitive." "Yeah, that's for sure," I say slowly. "Tom is nice to me, but he is not in any way becoming my dad, because I already have an awesome dad. I guess I need to show it more." "Let's work on your computer game," says Shomara. "I want to show it to my dad," I say. Do you mind if I get him?" "Good idea," says Shomara. "He probably wants to be all involved and dadly." "He is dadly," I say. "Super dadly. Maybe he'll even get you a new Tech-Talk timekeeper watch." "I don't have an old one." "That's what I'm talking about," she says, nodding. "You know what?" I say. "Let's play Clue instead. Dad likes that. It's one of his favorites, and we have to keep losing so he can explain to us how to make educated guesses like a scientist." "Oh, that sounds fun," says Shomara, rolling her eyes. I glare at her. Kidding, kidding. I want Uncle Winston to feel better, too." "Good," I say. "Before I call him, let's make a list of all the ways I can remind him that he'll always be my real dad, my only dad." "But," starts Shomara. "What?" "Nothing," she says quickly. "Well, why don't you just tell him you love him and stuff?" "He knows that. I need to do more. I don't want him to look sad, not about me. I want him to know for sure whose side I'm on." "I don't know if it's about choosing sides. And I have to make sure Tom knows too, right?" Shomara throws up her hands. "Yeah, whatever. I've got your back." I still think we can get a tech-tack timekeeper watch out of this somehow, though. I pick up my smiley beanbag and throw it at her.